Yo, what's going on? Your boy Ghost here, and today I'm bringing a comparison between the Kar and AX-50. Now, before we get into it, I want to say thank you guys for the recent support you guys showed over the last week. We gained over 50 subscribers, and we're now halfway to 900. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe and turn on post notifications. And if you like the video, then I guess like the video. Also, during the making of this video, I found somewhat of a hidden love for solos, although in the past I've had some pretty big things to say about it. This time around I kind of had fun playing them, and I was thinking maybe you guys would like to see me live stream some solos or even playing with viewers, which I'd totally be down for. So if you would like to see me stream, let me know in the comments, or even just go follow my Twitch channel, which is linked in the description. But again, you don't have to do all that, but if you did, I'd be greatly appreciated. Lastly, I want to say that I'm pretty sure this comparison specifically has not been done. I know that sniper comparisons have already been done for Warzone, but I'm not sure if this one specifically has been done, especially with the fact that these two weapons were buffed like a month ago, and I don't even think that comparison specifically has been done. So here I am making them. I also want to make it though because the Kar has been rising in popularity these last 2-3 weeks. And I've seen a lot of, streamers and YouTubers just use it more often. And I decided to use it, and I was like, this is a really fun weapon, and I want to make a comparison on it. But with that being said, let's get into the comparison. And here we have my Kar class set up. Now I'm also going to show you guys the reticle that I decided to start using, which is the pinpoint. I don't know, I just prefer this over the default reticle of the Kar. Obviously, it's all personal preference. You might like the default one, or you might like another reticle, which is totally fine as long as you're comfortable with it. So you may have noticed that there was no recoil pattern or anything like that for the Kar, and that's because come on, a sniper doesn't really have obviously doesn't have recoil, so I couldn't show you guys that, and I didn't really know what else to showcase, so there was nothing. So if you have any suggestions for what I could showcase for a sniper, leave in the comments below, because your boy needs that. And one of the things that makes the Kar stand out from an HDR or AX-50 is the fact of how fast it is. And I'm not just talking about ADS speed and stuff like that. I'm talking about just everything in general. The reload, the cockback, the ADS, the movement, all that. It's a really fast sniper. And yes, in this game technically it's not really considered a sniper rifle. It's considered a marksman rifle. It's still a rifle, and it pretty much acts the same as a sniper. One shot headshot, and it's just what it does, and it has a lot of range. One thing though I gotta say about sniping in this game though is the fact that you can get caught up in it very easily. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you see someone in the distance, right, and you just start shooting them, and then you just keep shooting them, you get caught up and all you want to do is just shooting them, and sometimes you let your guard down because you're just so focused in sniping and you get yourself killed. And this has actually happened to me and my teammates a lot, because when we snipe, we see somebody and we just get caught up in it, and sometimes we die for it. And same thing with the Kar now is one of the things that you gotta be aware of is don't try to world star everybody. I've gotten my teammates killed because I've decided to try and snipe someone really close to me when I could have just used my M4 and MP7 and saved my teammate. But no, here I was trying to be Pamanch, even though I'm not him. And in my opinion, I feel like the Kar is definitely a harder weapon to use than something like an AX-50 and HDR, especially the way it's utilized right now. So if you're not really the best sniper, I wouldn't recommend it, because the Kar isn't used to be a stationary hard scoping weapon. Obviously you can do it because again it's a sniper, but if you're just gonna do that, use an HDR, because it's just a more powerful weapon, and you pretty much get rewarded for being a bad sniper with the HDR. I think it requires skill, because if you hit someone in the body, 90% of the time you're gonna break their armor, as opposed to an AX-50 and Kar that's the opposite. 90% of the time you're gonna be getting white hit marker or white armor tags, and you know what I'm talking about. When you get a tag, the first shot you get on someone that has armor is going to be a white armor tag. That's pretty much what you get with the Kar and AX-50. Body shots do not save you. They don't bail you out. And in my opinion, I think body shots in Warzone are kind of a cheesy way to snipe. So that's why I like the AX-50 and Kar, because it rewards the accuracy and it rewards the attempt to try to get headshots. Again, there's nothing wrong with using HDR. I just personally now I just think it requires no skill. Now I'm not going to be using it anymore because I think again it's a cheesy way, and it's also just very slow. And I have now gotten used to sniping with an AX-50 and Kar, and I like the way how fast they are. So with that being said, let's get into the AX-50. And here is my AX-50 class setup. Now the reticle that I use on this is actually the default one. Again, that's just my personal preference. You might have your own favorite one, and that's cool. Nothing wrong with it. But yeah. So one thing I gotta say about class setups of an AX-50 is that if it has any slow aspect, then you have it wrong. What I mean by this is, like, if your ADS is slow, your mobility is slow, your pull-up is slow, then you have the wrong class setup. I'm not saying that my class setup is the best or that it's the perfect one, but you cannot have your AX-50 be slow, because that will literally defeat the purpose and the point of this weapon. If you want a slow sniper, use an HDR. Now, the only exception that I will make for kind of a slow aspect is the reload, because, you know, the reload itself of the AX-50 is actually pretty slow, and I use sleight of hand to try to counter that. But one of the things that the AX-50 has, and just kind of snipers in general, is something called flinch. So when you get shot, when aiming in with your sniper, your gun goes to Narnia, and it's very hard to recenter yourself while it's still scoped in, and you're gonna have to, like, come out of the scope and come back in, and by the time that happens, you're probably dead unless you world star them. So one of the things that you can do to minimize flinch is using the perk called focus instead of sleight of hand. And I personally was thinking of using that, but I'm not going to change the focus. But for you, if you want to minimize your flinch, or just even for the HDR as well, you know, try to slap on focus and see if that helps. If it doesn't, then I don't know, man. GG, the flinch is ass. But actually, one of the things that I noticed about the AX-50, or just me using it in general, is that I found myself more comfortable with the gun. And I don't know, I feel like I should have been more comfortable using the Kar, but maybe because, again, like I said, it requires a lot more skill. Maybe that's why I found myself using the AX-50 a lot more and just enjoying it more. Not that I'm a bad sniper, but, like, I'm not that, like, crazy at sniping. And again, I feel like if you're really cracked at sniping, then the Kar might be the better option than the AX-50. I'm not, you know, that's, I guess that, again, that's kind of personal preference as well. Because, you know, even if you're cracked, maybe you still prefer the AX-50, or maybe you prefer the HDR. I'm saying everyone has their own personal preference. But the AX-50 is one of those weapons that is very overlooked. And yes, I see it used sometimes, and I see it used often, but compared to an HDR, it's very overlooked. And I want to say it's because, again, the HDR one-shots armor, and the AX-50 doesn't. Because a lot of people, like, when I talk about the AX-50, right, a lot of people call it ass. And it's not ass by any means. It just doesn't one-shot armor like the HDR. And I think that's part of one of the reasons that turns people away, because it, again, kind of requires a lot more skill. Or it requires a lot more skill than the HDR, but not as much as the Kar. And I don't know, I just kind of, again, like the fact that both these weapons kind of reward accuracy and aim. And I don't know, like, maybe to the average player who doesn't really snipe, maybe these weapons aren't for you. I definitely still recommend trying using them. If you're not the best sniper, one thing I recommend for you is to go into custom games if you have multiplayer, and just kind of try sniping. Just quick scope and go up against bots and just start trying to snipe. Just do, you know, try to get better. If you don't have multiplayer, I don't really know how you can improve at sniping. You kind of just, I guess, have to snipe. Good luck with that. But one thing I also got to talk about is the range, I guess, of both these snipers. So the Kar is a marksman rifle, but it does have, like, sniper range, or I guess AX-50 range. Now, logically here, this is going to sound stupid to some of you guys, but the HDR, or not the HDR, the AX-50 has a barrel that has, like, what, 32.0, and then the Kar has the barrel of, like, a 27 or 29. So, logically, the AX-50 has a longer barrel. Does that mean it has more range? And I'm pretty sure statistically it should have more range than the Kar. Now, for all you stat heads out there, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the AX-50 has more range than the Kar. Now, honestly, I don't really notice it. I don't really see how, like, in game, I just don't notice that the Kar doesn't have the range the AX-50 has, because I think they're pretty similar. And honestly, both these weapons at range are kind of ineffective unless you get headshots. But something that you gotta account for is drop off. Now, drop off is a whole nother conversation because there's just a lot of like in-depth stuff you could talk about it, because it's not as simple as just like being on the same level as someone throughout like a very long distance and the bullet just dropping, because there's a lot of factors in this game mode that account for stuff like that, and I really don't have time to speak about it, and I don't even know the specifics about it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know your experiences and thoughts on the Kar and AX-50. Which one do you prefer and why? And Season 5 drops tomorrow, so let's hope that the Fallon Brew will get nerfed. With that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace.